Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert from the Business Awards Show, and I'm also the founder of the Best Businesswomen Awards and the Best SME Awards. And today I am joined by Emma Youell, who is an animator and video editor. Her business, Emma Youell Design, is quite new. She's been going for nearly 2 years, but already has a clutch of business awards. So we're going to be chatting to Emma about her business journey, about her passion for animation and why in business this is a great tool to use to get your point across. And we're going to be talking to Emma about her awards journey. So, welcome, Emma.
Hello, Debbie.
Lovely to see you.
I'm really excited to be on the podcast today.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we always start off with our guests talking about their business journey and what took them to the place that they are at today. So, tell us about what made you set up your animation and video editing business and
Sure.
why are you so passionate about all of this?
Sure. I'm going to take you way back, actually. When I was a kid, I was always really, really creative, always drawing, always doing, that sort of arty crafts and all sorts. So when it came to going to university, I went into animation, went into media. I actually wanted to do graphic design, but that course was full. So they moved me onto this brand new course called motion graphics. And at the
Mhm.
time, I was like, I have no idea what this is. And we're going back to like 2010. So it's still kind of, digital world is still forming back then, and social media was not even what it is now.
Mhm.
So I kind of did a little bit of research. I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll give this course a go. 3 years later, graduated in motion graphics, which essentially is animation.
Mm.
And then I went straight into a financial role, which in-house they were making videos. So this was all the start of it, really,
Mm.
to build their business. And the really unusual thing was when I was at university, I said the one place I do not want to work is a bank because it's going to be, I don't do maths, I'm not a financial person, and it was just going to be totally dull and boring. My first job was in the financial services, and it turned out to be one of the best jobs I ever had. The company was amazing. The people I had around me that helped me grow were amazing. So I spent a couple of years moving around a few different businesses in central London, and we then went through COVID.
Mm.
So I could then work from home. And it taught me that I could still do my work from home without the massive commute of going into central London. And essentially, that became one of the major reasons why I then decided to set up my own business. It was kind of a really long-term goal that I wanted anyway. I wanted to take control of my own diary, of my own calendar, and sort of be my own boss. But then having going through that lockdown experience, knowing that I could work from home and could achieve everything while being in my own office, made me realize I could actually probably take the step to leave the full-time job and set up my own business. I wanted my life back. I wanted to not commute. I wanted to spend more time with my family. And then I actually did it. So took the leap one day, thought I've had enough now. I didn't want to commute into the office. I didn't want to be doing 10-hour days out of home. I wanted to see my husband. I wanted to see my dogs and just have a home life as well. So I did it
Mm.
one day, and there we go. I went freelance initially just to sort of get my foot on the ground, make sure it was all right and it was what I wanted to do. And then I actually hit the VAT threshold, so I had to become
Wow.
registered and all that sort of stuff. So then I ended up setting up my business in March 24. So I'm fully on it now.
Exciting. That's amazing. So I think that's quite a good piece of advice, really. So you put your toe in the water and freelanced for a year before you set the company up, which I think is quite good advice, really.
Yeah.
As a creative, do you find it's better for you to work on your own than in a big noisy office where you're trying to do quite detailed projects, I would imagine?
I would say there's pros and cons to both. It depends who you are surrounded by. So when I was in an office and my creative team are around me, you can buzz off each other, you get ideas
Mm.
from each other, and you can literally just turn to your colleague and say, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And you can get immediate feedback from your peers who are also in the industry. So
Mm.
that was great. But then also you would be open to more disturbances from, for example, when you are in house, a lot of your clients are in the business, so they're coming to your desk and chatting to you or wanting to go for coffee. So there are those distractions. From home, obviously, there's less distractions for me. I can easily just shut myself away and get on with the work. But then there's also that lack of having someone there to just be like, hey, what do you think of this? There's not much in terms of teamwork or engagement. Although I
Mm.
have made my first full-time hire this year, so I have got an employee now, but he also works from home, so he is remote. But often I will have weekly catch-ups twice a week with him, and we catch up and we brainstorm together. But there's still that lack of like in person buzzing off, like just immediately just going, hey, what do you think of this? So there are pros and cons.
Yeah, it's interesting that. So, animation for companies, what kinds of things can they use it for?
Oh gosh, all sorts of things. It's the possibilities are kind of endless in terms of animation. So you can use animation for explainer videos. If you have a new product that you want to show off to the world, you can create an animation for that. And I always say to my clients as well, if they have an FAQ list, do you have that one question that people are always coming to you and asking, you could turn that into a video and refer people to watch the video. So it's kind of linked there straight away, and it might sort of slow down those questions that you're getting into your email inbox. If you're a company that runs events, you can do event graphics, like little
Mhm.
logo animations, even on these big LED screens. I've done massive LED walls in arenas that show animations about the speakers that are coming up or logos of the brands sponsoring the event. And then it goes right down to everyday social media. So, your reels, your little TikTok videos, all that sort of stuff you can add animation to just make things a little bit more spicy for the watchers.
Oh, amazing. Is there any particular industries you love working with?
Oh, well, you know what? I am my niche is for the financial services sector. Obviously, that's where I worked mostly in-house. I kind of got a real knowledge and understanding of how to take, let's say, a little bit more dull subjects into really engaging videos that anybody could understand and digest. But I love working with the heritage sector as well. That the heritage area is my passion. In my spare time. It's my hobby. It's what I love to do. So turning anything sort of historical into like engaging, fun little animations, like little characters or something. That is what I absolutely love.
Let's expand on that. What do you do in the heritage sector?
Well, in my personal life, I'm a metal detectorist, and
Um,
I've been doing that for 10 years. Um, and I just absolutely love it. So most of my Sundays, I'll go out metal detecting, and I'll be finding history in the ground. So when I actually find these things and they go into museums, then if I get work for museums, like coming in through my business, that's a dream job to me because it's so passionate. I'm passionate about that in my outside of work that when I get these jobs in, I'm like, this is the dream. So yeah.
Sounds amazing. So, this new business that you've created in the last couple of years, how on earth did awards appear on your radar? What happened there?
So this is I'm going to go back to my friend Kim. I'm going to reference my friend Kim. She is really into business. She has her own business as well. And she one day said to me, do you want to come along to this 3-day event? And it's called Business Growth Secrets. And you kind of learn how to promote your business and all this sort of stuff. So I was just starting out and I was like, oh, I can do it all. I don't need any help. I can just go and do it myself. I'm fine. She said, no, 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 come along, give it a try. So I did go along. I spent 3 days with her and we learnt so many things. And it turned out I know how to do the work for my business, but I didn't know how to do business.
Yeah.
So it was that sort of clicked over in my mind that actually I don't know that I need to have like a funnel or ads or all that sort of, and yeah, it just opened up a whole new world to
That
me.
is it, isn't it, Emma? Because the thing is, you're brilliant at animation
Yeah,
and video editing, but there's the two sides to running a business. There's business skills and what you're good at. So you've totally nailed that,
yeah.
absolutely on the head. So
So that is it. Yeah.
after the course, what you gleaned a lot from that.
Yeah, so that was a really massive eye opener to me. And the people who were running that course offered business coaching as well. So that was kind of their product that they sold at the end of it. And I saw the benefit, I saw the value in actually
Mm,
having a business coach and thought this would really help me get to the next level because I didn't want to just be an independent freelancer for the rest of my career. I want to have a business that grows and scales. I
mm,
want to have staff. I want to have a little studio going on. So I've got a dream and I've got a business plan that I want to see
mm,
happen. So having a business coach, I thought that will help me succeed and sort of push me in the directions that I need to go. And they are ultimately the people who said, you need to start entering awards to build
mm.
trust, to build up that position yourself in the marketplace as a trusted individual that you are good at what you do. Start building these awards, start getting the promotional material out there. And that's ultimately how I ended up applying for awards.
Amazing. I need to talk to these people recommending awards, get them on the podcast. So that's obviously the first stage is awareness, but how on earth did you choose which awards to enter? What was your process?
So I think I'd come across the Best Businesswoman awards quite early, and it was just from Googling.
Mm,
So I started to follow your advice quite early on, signed up to your newsletter and checked out all the social medias, and just Googled a lot of events. But it was from your advice that I started realizing that, some of these awards are a little bit not anybody could win it.
yeah.
And I really didn't want to be one of those where you just apply and they give you an award, or you
Mm,
apply and they're like, okay, you can get an award if you pay for it.
yeah.
Um, and I started to think those awards for me were not quite right.
Mm,
So I didn't want to apply for those ones. I wanted to apply for these bigger awards, which were like they seemed like they had much more of a judging process. They would look at your evidence. It wasn't just me applying, being like, "Give me an award, I'll pay you money, and I'll get a jazzy trophy, which I've actually paid for."
mm,
Um, no, I wanted to be involved in providing evidence. I networking with all these other people that have gone into these awards as well, knowing that they're actually like verified as such.
mm.
And it was from your advice really that I started to look into these awards a little bit more specifically to find out the ones that I really wanted to enter that would actually mean more to me and my business
Mm.
in terms of what they could offer me in return.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting with you is I don't meet many people that have done in a year a global award with the Stevies, a local award, so Kent, and one of ours, which is a national award. So that's quite an incredible achievement, I think, to get you
Oh,
off the
I'm
starting
very proud.
blocks. Yeah, you should be. That's amazing.
It's been a really really fun journey, and it's kind of it did take me by surprise when I started getting all these you've been shortlisted as a finalist, and it meant so much to me after I've spent time crafting these evidence entries, which again, also I wouldn't have done as a good job as if you hadn't have done you'd done a webinar about
Yeah.
crafting evidence, and I attended that, and I actually waited before I submitted to any awards. I attended that webinar first to see what that was about, and then that again was a massive click moment in my head, thinking, oh, I've actually got to supply and put like real effort into this evidence,
Mm,
because I didn't realize that was as important as it
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Which, if I hadn't attended that, my evidence wouldn't have been anywhere near as good, and I probably wouldn't be shortlisted for half of these ones I've been shortlisted for because I wouldn't have known how to
Mm,
tell people about it. I wouldn't know how to
mm.
present that information. And again, it would probably just be like one of those situations where I've written, I'm really good at animation without showing anything to support that. So I would have been in that place without that webinar.
Yeah, because I think that's why I did it really, because I think that's where people go wrong. And I'm going to say this to you now so you're aware. Animators, graphic designers, any creatives get a harder time from judges than anybody else because I've seen the comments, which is like, this person is supposed to be a graphic designer or an animator and they have not showcased in their entry, and I almost feel like that's coming off the page from the judges that it's like, wow, this is just terrible. And they do this for a living and they haven't showcased what they do. So I do feel sometimes that industry gets a harder line on the judging than perhaps other industries because in their opinion, I think, well, it should be simple for them to do an award pack. But if you don't know what's going in it,
Yeah,
what to put in it,
yeah.
um, to start you off, I mean, that's why I try and educate people as much as possible. And then you've got the blueprint, you can enter other awards with that. So let's talk about the impact of these awards. So let's talk about what's come out of it. What have you gleaned from it?
Yeah, of course. So, the networking for a start, you're in a room full of all of these amazing people, amazing women who are all there for the same reason. They're all really inspiring, high achievers. They often all want to see everyone else succeed. So just being in the room is actually really inspirational. And then realizing that you're amongst so many other businesses, businesses that can help me out,
Mm,
businesses that I could help out,
mm,
and you do start to build connections with every one of those people around you, from those people you're seated on the table with to people you network with afterwards. And building those connections is the biggest thing that I've seen, which has been most valuable to me, because you're all there for the same reason. But I've also actually had clients now from meeting people at these awards,
right.
and even one of the awards that I was shortlisted for, I didn't even win. I was a finalist. Um, got me a massive client, and I secured a 12K contract from
Wow,
an award I didn't even win. So that amazing on its own was incredible. Just to be in the room with those people having conversations
mm,
has led to actually getting more clients.
fantastic. And did you get any PR from any of your wins?
So the PR, again, best businesswoman of I got your PR pack from that, kind of customized it and sent out a few little bits and pieces. So I've had PR from that. I did try to reach out to a few other local areas, not was not successful in those.
Mm,
But I found that just I'd go out and I'd make little reels and things of me
mm,
winning the awards and captain content and stuff like that. And those actually performed really, really well on social media. And I had
mm.
other people coming up to me and say, "Oh, I've been watching what you're doing at these awards, and then the content that I create afterwards. We'll have to work together." So I've got all these sort of leads coming up from even just creating the content for myself because that's my business. Um, that are then turning into more leads for later on. So yeah, it's all kind of about it is what you make out of it. So, when I'm
Mm.
going to these awards events, I'm taking photos, I'm making having conversations, and I'm getting content. And that all to me is part of building the business and making it bigger.
Totally. This is like, we have people in our awards that have had businesses for 20 years, but they're still doing awards because they know that it gives them that visibility, but also that all important content for social
Yeah.
media. And it's exposing them to an audience full of people that may potentially use their services. So, anyone who says to me, oh, awards are a waste of time, I'm
No,
like, well, you're not utilizing it properly.
no.
In fact, I had this conversation with somebody about 2 weeks ago at a networking event when she found out what I did. And she said, oh, I've entered loads of awards. They're a complete waste of time. Um, I've either been shortlisted or not shortlisted. And oh, the finals are just full of the same people winning over and over again. And I said, well, that's not what we do in our awards. She was
Yeah,
like, oh, and I think you can sort of tar all awards with one brush when actually we're all very different. And you've already experienced three different, is it three or four now? So you've done the Kent Awards, you've got Stevie, you've got one of ours. Wasn't there another one? Didn't you go to the Lloyd's one as well?
yeah. So the Lloyd's British Business Awards, and I was a finalist in New Business of the Year for that, which was incredible. The size of the businesses in that room were just mind
Yeah.
blowing, and to be actually in as a finalist on the table in this room of businesses that are they've got hundreds of staff, they've got
Mm.
massive corporations, and to be there was it actually gives me goosebumps again thinking about it because it was so incredible to think little me with my little business, my little animation business. But it also inspires me to keep pushing, keep building,
Mm.
and meeting all these other entrepreneurs who are just as hungry still, like even though they've got built a bigger business for whatever other category they may be in. it was just it made me want to go out and get more.
That's a really good point, actually, because I would agree with you. The first awards I ever won, which was back in 2012, um, that actually it inspired me to be in a room full of successful businesses. And I think we kind of forget about that a little bit. And actually, the inspiration element is another part of the benefits of awards, really. And the
Yeah,
Lloyd's Awards, I've been to those, not as a finalist. I've never entered those, but I actually went as a guest of one of the judges and ended up sitting next to a guy called Scott English who runs the Elite 100. And so
yeah,
we've partnered and we promote each other as awards, which is really nice. And yeah, I felt it was a really lovely evening. It was huge. I think there was about 1,200 people there, something like that.
yeah.
But it felt incredibly special, and I met some really great people. So that's a really good accolade to have under your belt, even as a finalist with that one, because you probably went through the interview process with them because you have to go into London and be
Yeah,
interviewed.
yeah.
So there's quite a lot that goes into those ones, and they're on my credible awards list for sure.
It was one of those experiences, like you say, I went to the judging, and I kind of snapped everything up about it just to
Mm,
learn from it, experience it, and again, create content every step of the way to show people the process, to show what I'm up to. And people were really enjoying that on social media as well, following that journey. And, I'd be getting people saying, oh, good luck, keep us updated and all that sort of stuff. And the evening was fantastic, and to be it kind of we talk about this imposter syndrome,
mm,
and it was that kind of moment where I was like, oh, actually, I'm doing something right here.
mm,
I'm in a room with massive businesses, and although I'm not winning, it's still a great accolade to have to show that I am doing things right. And then one day, eventually, I could be in one of those winning positions if I keep pushing, keep working hard, and just keep going on and doing what I do. Then yeah, one
mm.
day I'll be there.
Well, you got one, didn't you? You got one at Kent in the Kent Awards, which was
Yep.
amazing. And,
Yep.
and I think local awards are really, really crucial because building your presence up in your local area is vital to grow a business. So that must have been amazing to have got that recognition.
That actually meant so much to me, being Kent based as well. I was a finalist in one of the categories. So startup business, I was a finalist in. And then I won the category of Best Creative Digital and Innovation. So being a creative business, that was what meant so much to me to actually win that award in Kent.
Mm,
I was so chuffed, and it was the first awards. My parents actually came along to that, and it was the first award that was called out of the evening. And so the rest of the evening, I'm just sitting there buzzing like, and then enjoying the dinner and speaking to everyone else, and everyone coming up and congratulating me. So it was just that was amazing.
oh, that's lovely. That's amazing. So, what's the plans for your animation business then over the next few years? What are you hoping to achieve?
Yeah, so not stopping. So we're not going to stop, not going to slow down. Going to generate more leads, hopefully, run some advertising, do loads more marketing, keep entering the awards. I'm still not going to disappear from that just yet.
Mm,
And just keep scaling and growing, and hire some more staff because the work's going to be blowing up. So I won't be able to handle it all on my own. And then the ultimate goal is to be able to get a premises to have a little studio in. So
mm,
staff can come in, we can do working at the desk. And as I said, you get the benefit of actually turning to someone and say, hey, what do you think of this?
mm,
Um, and if people want to come into the office, we all work together, produce artwork, have a little studio on the side, which we do filming in and all sorts of stuff. So that is the ultimate goal, have a premises, have staff, be producing amazing content for businesses. And I know that one day I will get there.
amazing. Okay, so what we tend to do at the end of the podcast is we talk about some business tips. So I think you've already kind of detailed what a difference going to this event made to you um, in your business, and it kind of opened up your eyes to
Yeah.
learning more about running a business. Are there any other tips you could share with people that have massively helped you?
Yeah. Kind of like don't be afraid to talk about yourself. Like
Mm,
don't be afraid to promote your wins. Don't be afraid to be proud of your achievements. Do put them out there. Do rave about yourself. People also, you'll find that people do want to celebrate with you.
Mm,
So that is one thing that I would say. I would also say if you do, it's a lot of, for me, it's a lot about gut feeling. If you've got that feeling, do it. Don't be afraid. Just go and
mm,
do what you want to do. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise, because you follow your own advice. Unless you're having a business coach, then they can advise you and you follow them, because it's got me to where I am today. Um, those are kind of like the main things I can think of off the top of my head. And just, if you've like imposter syndrome, I feel like I've had it. I don't suffer with it too much anymore, because I'm starting to get all this recognition and
mm,
I'm starting to actually believe in myself. Um, I say to people that I'm filming, if they're getting nervous about the subject they're going to talk about, I always say, you are the expert in this subject. Just believe that then, because I don't know anything about that subject. For example, if they're talking about interest rates, like, you are the subject expert on this interest rate. You
mm,
know this. You don't need to be nervous. So that can transpire to anybody who's running a business. If you want
mm.
to start doing social media, producing your own videos, producing your own content, just don't get nervous. Remember, you are the expert in your area of business. You've got it. And I think that's just what I would end on.
Oh, that's really, really good advice. Well, thank you for joining me today. It's been lovely chatting to you about your business and about your metal detecting, which I find completely fascinating, and all the things that you've done. And I think you're a shining example of somebody who's come into business as a freelancer, developed a business, and to be VAT registered that quick is a win, is a massive
Yeah,
win. Um, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing lots more of you on stages, getting awards in the future.
yeah.
And we will be watching your journey with interest because I think it's going to be phenomenal. So well done, Emma, and
Thanks,
keep in
Debbie.
touch with us.
I will be. I'm not disappearing.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Debbie. Bye bye.
Now, if you're listening to today's episode, we will be adding Emma's details into the show notes. So if you would like to think about having some animation done for your business, you will be able to get in contact with Emma and find out more about the services that she offers in animation and video editing. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you. Bye bye.